On the 2nd of September 2020, the royal stool of the Bamendankwe Fondom in the northwest region of Cameroon received a new occupant, His Royal Highness Forchesiri III. The fund came within the context of a socio-political crisis that has been rocking the northwest and southwest regions, and so far he has successfully been paddling the boat of the Bamendankwe people in safe waters. Close to 3 years into his reign, His Majesty is on his maiden visit to the city of Douala to meet with his kin and kindred. And on the sidelines of this visit, he has decided to grant this interview with Crtv. Your Royal Highness Forchesiri III, thank you very much for accepting to be guest on Crtv.
Thank you so much, Alphonse. Thank you so much.
You came to power on the throne of the Bamendankwe land at a time when there is a serious socio-political crisis rocking the region. How well has the fund successfully paddled the boat of the Bamendankwe people till this period of his reign?
Thank you so much, Alphonse. Actually, it's one in a lifetime experience, of working selflessly for your people, and most importantly, as a community leader, the fun that you are in a community where you're faced with crisis issues, it requires that you need to bring everyone on board. You have people from different dispensations. You have business people, you have traditionalists, you have those who are in different areas, different sectors of life. You need to bring everyone on board and see how as a community you put your voices towards the same path. I must say it has not been easy, but thank God, what actually is embedded in the culture of the Bamendankwe man are values that are linked to unity, to love, to forgiveness, and to community building. Those are actually avenues in which, through cultural manifestations, through cultural displays, we have to organize most of these events, bringing our people together, men, women, the youths, children. We come together as a community, and then we, in the course of manifesting our identity, our culture through performances, it's an opportunity for us to see how we put our voices towards the same path. If you see your brother, this is your brother, this is your sister, and you will not have any reason to hurt them. I think for the time being, it's been very successful, and we want to thank God. We want to thank the God of our ancestors, the gods of Bamendankwe, who've been seeing us all through this period. And today, I must tell you that there is relative peace in Bamendankwe.
Your Highness, there has been a rapid population growth in the Bamenda 1 subdivision, especially within Bamendankwe land, by virtue of its geographical location, but it's also its political location. Now, this has put more pressure, or exerted pressure on lands, and there is this rising land dispute within the land. How well have you been able to manage land disputes within the Bamendankwe land, Your Highness?
Yeah, Bamendankwe occupies the administrative headquarters of the entire Northwest region. And it's very strategic. About the location of Bamendankwe is very strategic, and land is one of the major concerns, because it's not only the people who need land so badly, the government need lands for its different services. And all along we've had so many issues related to land, but today things have really changed in the fact that at the level of the quarters, we are working on empowering our traditional institutions. The Quarter Health Union, the Village Council, the development associations who are able to entertain some of the matters related to land. So, in this approach too, we are involving family heads, because these are those who own the land. Family heads, successors, we bring them on board, we talk to them at the level of the quarters. If there's any land that is supposed to be sold in Bamendankwe, any of the quarters in Bamendankwe, the family head must be aware, the quarter heads, they must be aware, so that tomorrow if there's a conflict, the palace can verify through the quarter head who lives in that quarter and knows the realities of that quarter and actually knows whether this land that is to be sold out belongs to this person or not. So those are things we are struggling, to put them in place, and it's really working for us. And I want to think that for some time now, the issues related to land in Bamendankwe now, it has really reduced.
How involved is the Bamendankwe Palace in peace initiatives within the context of the socio-political crisis?
First, the Bamendankwe man is someone who is very hospitable. With the advent of the crisis, you find our compatriots from other regions, from other divisions, other villages, who've come to Bamendankwe and they have been accepted. They are part of us, and that is the social cohesion which, even the head of state preaches. And we thank God it's working, and we understand some of these moves too, are related to the social aspect of the reconstruction for the Northwest and the Southwest, bringing people together, your own brothers and sisters. You talk to them towards the way of peace, you talk to them towards the way of development, and together when people feel that they are part and parcel of that community, they can manifest their own cultures, they can, air out their minds, and then together as a community we chart a better way for the entire community. And we're also doing this in respecting very close collaborations and relationships, especially with the rest of our sister villages, the Mankon, the Awing, the Bambili, our brothers of Nkwen, and all over. So we ensure that we are not only working on building peace at home, but you have to also extend that hand of, building peace, to your sisters, to your brothers, and why not your neighbors.
The official projection is that Bamendankwe is a peaceful land amidst the crisis. But is it really peaceful when the gas plant project at Bangshe was delayed for several reasons, or for several weeks for security reasons, after one person was reportedly killed there by suspected separatist fighters?
I must tell you, there's a lot of propaganda out there, especially on the social media on some of these things. We are back there in Bamendankwe, and this is my first visit in Douala. We don't have those issues in Bamendankwe. The works at the gas plant started, and to the best of my knowledge, we had information that some of the engineers who were supposed to come from Nigeria, they had some delays, and probably that is the main reason why the work did not begin on the time that it was supposed to begin. So I don't think it's because of the insecurity issues. So that's a project that when the minister came to launch this project, everybody was so happy, because it's coming to touch on some of the very core aspects of life, to touch on try to see alleviate poverty, giving jobs to people around, and then touching the basic needs of society. I think it's most important. The people welcome the project, and everyone wants to see the project go on without any problem.
Deforestation is a major problem in Bamendankwe land. How far with the current tree planting project, Your Highness?
Yeah, the palace and its different traditional institutions have been in collaboration with the Traditional Council, the Village Development and Cultural Association, Bamendankwe, and we are working in collaboration to see that we beef up the initiative of planting more trees, and with one of the main economic activities of the Bamendankwe man is charcoal burning. Yes, we are proud of it. And today, with the advent of deforestation, we feel that that is part of our identity. We need to preserve it, we need to conserve it, and that's why we are working in collaboration, not only with the different institutions, with other partners, goodwill individuals, so that they come together. We see how we can plant more and more, trees up here, and why not encourage more and more family heads, individuals, to also copy that same example.
Can we really prevent tree felling or tree planting in an area where people need to cut down trees to have agricultural land?
It becomes really, really difficult, but what I think is that, we need more and more sensitization. We need to change the mindset. We need to make people understand how important it is for us to plant trees, how important these trees serve the community in different purposes. People need to know that, and know that actually, we are doing this not only for ourselves, but for the next generation too. We are trying to preserve life for the next generation, because cutting down the trees, it goes a long way to affect, even the quantity of water we have in the community and all of that. So we need to change the mindset of the people and make them understand how planting of trees is very important for a community like Bamendankwe.
For Forchesiri III, the Bamendankwe Museum was refurbished in 2015 and is very modern. Is it too modern to distort the very essence of tradition rooted in originality?
We are proud of the initiative of the World Bank back in 2014, when they came up with the idea to construct the museum. Why? Because the Bamendankwe Heritage Museum, as we call it, stands out across the different museums that you find around the country. It cuts between traditional and modern, and it's very difficult to find such museums. And you know, with the expertise of the World Bank and different experts who are involved in the projects like Route de la Chefferie, who are very involved in projects of museum and, you know, harnessing touristic sites. They came in, and I must tell you, you have to find time to visit the museum. You'll be marveled with what you see, the level of work, and then the display of artifacts in the museum. And those who are working there, you talk to them and you get so much information about the Bamendankwe Heritage Museum.
What's the rate of collaboration between the Bamendankwe Palace, the Bamendankwe King, and his local and foreign diaspora?
You know, you cannot build a community without bringing all actors together. And the diaspora community constitutes a major force in the development of every community. You cannot underestimate the role of the diaspora in community development. We thank God today, you know, through the Development and Cultural Association, BAMECA, we've been able to bring together our sons and daughters, not only in the USA, in Germany, in Dubai, in China, in South Africa. All of them are coming on board. And you know, that is to ensure that as a community, we all put our voices towards the same path, the path of peace building, the path of development, and see how continuously we work for the interest of the future generation and for those who are there today in Bamendankwe.
Your Highness, today you are on your maiden visit to Douala after close to 3 years into your enthronement. Now, what message do you bring to your people in the town of Douala?
If we are here in Douala today, the first thing is you cannot work with the people that you don't know. It is true that our people turn out massively during the enthronement and during the celebration of the Nikwe of Forchesiri II and Abongwa II just a few years back. And today is the first visit the traditional institutions have come down to Douala, you know, to talk to our people, to understand their challenges, and why not most especially to appreciate them for all that they have been doing, and to go a long way, you know, impact into them community spirit so that they have the community at heart. They remain always very attached to their culture and their tradition because that is our identity, that is what we are proud of.
How do you foresee the Bamendankwe land in the next 5, 10, 15 to 20 years, Your Highness?
Bamendankwe, must tell you, it's already the new El Dorado of the region. You come up to Bamendankwe, you realize a cross-section of the Northwest elites today are in Bamendankwe. More than 85%, 90% of the government services in the Northwest are in Bamendankwe. It's true that the village, you know, the community is taking this path of growth, but we must also remain very watchful, you know, so that at one point, it shouldn't intrude into the basic customs, the traditions of the people which we hold very close to our hearts. And so I think it's our role as traditional institutions, as traditional stakeholders, to remain very watchful and see that, you know, development comes, but it doesn't destroy the core values that the Bamendankwe people have as tradition, as heritage, as customs.
Your Royal Highness Forchesiri III of Bamendankwe land, thank you very much for accepting to be a guest on Crtv News.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Forchesiri III of Bamendankwe land on his maiden visit to Douala. On the sidelines of this visit, he accepted to be guest and to throw more light on the development projects of the Bamendankwe land. Do have a wonderful day.